Hey YouTube! So, I picked up a Telecaster. You don't see very many second-hand Telecasters, or not as at the price I want to pay for them. D'Addario strings, still got the tag on it. This one, I got it as a sort of pack thing. The girl I bought it off said that she bought it, tried the guitar, tried to play it a couple of times drunk, and basically the rest of the time it's been sitting in the garage. So it was pretty manky. Did need severe truss rod adjustments. I was kind of not going to buy it because the neck was like this, but it wasn't twisted and it's cleaned up okay. When I say cleaned up, I've basically intonated it, set the action and adjusted the truss rod. That's it. These strings are probably D'Addario's and probably from when it was new. In fact, actually, in the gig bag it had the Allen key, but also, what's that? A CD for a guy who's got a tooth missing like me on it. I'm sure I saw the receipt in here. Sound Control, Jamaica Street, Glasgow. Where's the date? The date. 24th of December 2007. So that's when this guitar was built. Sorry, I'll turn that down so there's no more beeps. So basically I noticed that the bridge pickup's sitting a bit high and the wee screw's not screwed in properly, so I'm going to have to take that in there and have a look and see. There must be something wedged behind it. So it's sitting a little bit high up, so it'll be a bit loud, and if you kind of touch the string onto the pickup it'll pop, so it might do that when I'm playing it. Just a wee demo, and it's like I like teles because people like to beep and then beep 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 beep. What was I saying there? Yeah, so when I was in China I was buying Telecasters because I like Telecasters because they're nice and easy to make. There's very little in it to get wrong, and my thinking was that if you're buying like a Chinese cheapy one, which I was, if the neck's not quite the right angle, you can adjust, you can take it off and move it. If the bridge isn't in the right place, there's plenty of scope for unscrewing it and moving it back or moving it forward or straightening it up or doing any of these things without having to do any real work, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so actually there's a line in it. So that probably means it's solid wood. Yeah, so just a cheapy telly. It's got the 6 saddle bridge. I'm not 100% convinced about this. I prefer the ashtray type ones. I don't imagine it's not through strung. So I'm just going to have a wee jam with it just to see what happens when you have a jam with like a cheapy telly that you picked up. I did have to say I had to do a little bit of work on it. The girl did mention there's a chip out it, and there is, which you can't really see. It's been bashed there, and it's the worst bash because it's right where your arm sits, which is really annoying. So I will have to paint this or something, or maybe just fill it in. You know, it's an impact dent. But it's just, if it was anywhere else in the body you wouldn't feel it. It's right at the one bit where your arm touches the guitar, which is annoying. So here we go. Neck pickup. So I didn't actually tune the guitar. I tuned it yesterday when I set it up. Could do a wee bit of work in the tuners as well. Some of them are a bit tighter than the other ones. So yeah, so on tuners, if you didn't know, ones like this, these are the sort of not the cheapest tuners. These are sort of semi-decent ones. There's a wee screw in the top of the button, so if you can tighten that up, which is a tension thing, if they're a bit loose. Also, I haven't gone round and tightened up these bolts, and actually that's one of the things you can always do when you get a guitar. These bolts that bolt in from the top are nearly always loose, and the number of times that I've had guitars in where folk are saying, "Oh, think about buying new tuners," it's not, you know, and these bolts are loose, so that the tuner's not actually attached to the headstock properly. I can see, looking at this, I can actually see air behind this one. So I'll need to do that, but I haven't changed the strings on it yet. I wanted to make sure it worked. So this is kind of more of a, let's see what needs done to it before I strip it down, paint it, put stupid pickups in it or something. Not decided what to do with the headstock. I kind of don't mind that one. I don't find that an offensive headstock. sometimes, you know, if you put like a pointy head in a tele, it can look hideous. That's just kind of like a sort of a bit meh. It's kind of bland, uninteresting. But so it is not. It's not pretending to be a Fender. Okay, that tag's maybe gonna have to go. Keeps getting in the way. Yeah. So neck pickup, bridge pickup will be really loud because I said it's sitting too high because the strings are on. Middle position. So let's have a wee jam anyway. I was playing in B minor the other day and I was really quite enjoying it, so I might do another B minor, try something else, we'll go down the way this time. That sounds good. Ah. These strings are, what is it, 2007, so 14 years old strings. Neck pickup. Bridge. And again, the reason I'm playing a B minor is because you get this one. So I'm going to write a song in B minor just for that case. Joyo US Dream Distortion. Really shouldn't be doing this, these strings are hideous, absolutely. Middle pickup. One thing I did notice is that the tone control does a heck of a lot in this guitar, but thinking about it as we're talking about it now, I think that might be to do with the fact that these strings are so old, there is zero treble coming off them, so when you take away all the treble there's nothing left. Maybe not so bad with the distortion on. Well, I was just saying through. I did go through the frets again, and hammered some of them in and filed some of them down to make it level. But this is going to make a good bucky caster, or whatever I decide to do with it. I saw someone put I think it was on the Ugly Guitars page, a tele on the other day, and it was like yellow, and you get the sort of ones that have got like hot rod flames on them. Well, this thing it was yellow and it had a clear scratch plate, and it had like purple hot rod flames kind of going through it, and it looked really cool. Same colour as this t-shirt. Really cool, and it's like, I don't know if I could be bothered doing that. I don't know how we would do that. Maybe a sticker, actually. Maybe look up flame stickers. Could be an interesting one. Then I'd have to buy a Perspex scratch plate. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know what to do with this. The bridge seems to be working okay. When I bought it, it was rattling like mad. But if it's rattling under, what was it, the G string or the D string? The saddles sit on 2 wee screws, right? 2 wee grub screws. And if one of them's not screwed in properly, not all the way down, and not touching the body of the guitar, it can rattle. So if you've got a rattly saddle, and another little tech tip, just get your Allen key in and make it so that both the screws are actually touching the bridge, and it will stop rattling. Or in this case, that's what happened. So basically, if you're looking about, you see Legacy. Legacy would probably go into my section of guitars. It's a cheap one. Not going to deny that. I think it was £119. It says on the receipt for the guitar, a bag, and a wee amp, which is through next door. So I might sell this on with a wee amp as well. It's okay. I have blacklisted some brands for being like, here, I'm never buying one of them again. It's like there is a point where things get too cheap and it doesn't work. This quite cheap. I mean, it's like it's alright. It's not the most fantastic qualities of wood and stuff in it, or really any of the parts are pure amazing. But with a wee bit of tweaking and fiddling, and if you want to fancy buying one of these and doing a wee bit of faffing about on your own, I almost said fanning about, but I don't want to say that. Faffing about on your own, then you can get a perfectly acceptable Telecaster. I think. Even the pickups seem alright. The neck pickup's quite quiet compared to the bridge, but I think that's just a Telecaster thing. You can get the action a bit lower than this. And that's it. These Roto Sound straps, which I just refuse to not use because I get them free with packs of strings. But, little bit microphonic. It's bridge microphonic. Bridge isn't really, but the neck's a little bit, a wee bit microphonic. But to be honest, this is not. You're not going to use this guitar through a full Marshall stack, which is when that sort of thing is going to get in. If you're talking about playing it in the house, sometimes the microphonicness gives it a little bit of that's why that squeaking so loud. I mean, it squeaks. It's just louder when the guitar's on. Yeah. And if you don't have a telly, you should have a telly. Everyone should have a telly. Again, I say this every time I've ever done any video on a telly. Leo got it right pretty much first time, apart from you got the switch wrong. But apart from that, they're all modifiable. It's just the original electric Spanish guitar, solid body, bolt-on neck, metal plate, simple, easy, screwed together, 2 bits of wood. They're great. I'm not that keen on the fact it's black. But as I've got this wee bit to fill in anyway, because it's really annoying me, I'll paint it a different colour. So I have done a Bucky telly before. I have done an Iron Brew telly before. Is it really worthwhile doing that, or should I just be painting it a nicer colour? Maybe orange? purple or yellow or something, might be yellow, maybe a yellow telly. Yellow guitars are totally underrated. I was never really that much a fan, and I just accidentally, by chance, decided I would paint a West Tone I got yellow, and it was like pure yellow's my favourite colour of guitar. You very rarely see them, and yellow with a white scratch plate, it will probably look pretty damn good. Not decided whether I'm going to reshape the head or not. I wasn't sure whether I was going to use this neck, because I do actually have a maple telly neck in my parts box, but it seems fine. Fine. And even the nut cut, the nuts cut all right as well. Maybe a wee bit low, but there's only so much you can really test, because when you're doing this sort of setup-y thing, which I've done like just a quick setup to make sure it worked. When you've got strings that are 15 years old, they are way less likely to buzz than new strings, because they're dead, basically. You know, I can actually feel it coming to life. The more I play it, the better it sounds. That's me only been playing it for 10 minutes. And what else do you want at a telly? Good fun. I'll probably just put this out as this will probably, quite a lot of people will probably watch this video, so I'll probably put tons of adverts in it because they're pure evil. It's just, yeah. So yes, not rubbish, and a little bit of fidgeting. There's so many YouTube videos now about telling you how to sort these things out. Just be a wee bit wary of quite a lot of the how to adjust your truss rod type videos is done by somebody who works in a guitar shop. So what they kind of want you to do is take the guitar into them to adjust the truss rod. So they'll say, first you put it on the jig, and then you use the straight edge, and then you get the £1,500 this, and then you get this, and then they make it sound an awful lot more complicated than it is when it actually is. Stick an Allen key in the top, give it a quarter turn, see if it works. That sort of thing. All these things come in that way. It's kind of, I know it's a bit evil, but I mean, before, I don't know if I've ever really. How'd you get a video of how to adjust a truss rod? It's like you hold down the string on the last fret and the first fret, and kind of in the middle, the string should be not touching the frets, but also not an inch off the frets in the middle. And then you just adjust this, and really the only way of learning how that works is to try it. Do it. I mean, if you're sitting there turning the truss rods and you're having to put an awful lot of effort into it, it's not good. That you might snap it or something. But if you're turning it and it's turnable without you actually having to go and grit your teeth, you should be all right. And maybe just do it half a quarter of a turn. I think you can normally get out of these. Stick the Allen key in. Make sure you've got the right Allen key. Buy an Allen key set, the lot, so you've definitely got the right one. And the one I've got, the set I've had it for a couple of years now. What a difference this made to general everyday life, having, so I've got all the imperial sizes and all the metric sizes. Before that I had a box of Allen keys, probably had most of these in it, but you sit and go, oh, it's not that one, oh, that was too small, it's not that one, oh, that was too big, it's not that one, oh, that was too small. That one you can go, this one's too small, I'll try the size one up. And then you put it back in. You put it back in the wee slot thing. Always put it back. This one here is the most useful, I always feel. The 1/16 inch. Because a lot of guitars, the wee grub screws that adjust the action, are actually the 1.5mm one. But they're a little bit chewed up because somebody's used the wrong Allen key on it. The 1/16 just a little bit bigger, which tends to fit a bit tighter. Same thing happens with the Allen key up the top. If you've got one that's just slightly small but sort of fits in, instead of gripping it properly and turning it, it just chews up the head. So make sure you've got the correct one. That's why I'm such a fan of can I see a guitar that's actually got one there. I think these two both have them. Can I lift one of them out? That one's not coming out. Is this one? It is. best. It's called a bullet truss rod. There, it's not. Sometimes it's a bit longer than that, but on that one you can actually see the bit where you stick the Allen key on. So much better when you can actually see it, because then you know it's fitting, as opposed to this one's not too bad, but you can see that you're kind of looking down a wee dark, dank hole, and you can't actually see really where it goes. So you kind of put it in and going, is that in? Is it fitting in the slot? Is the Allen key I'm using too small, or is it not going in it? And it's like, so guitar makers, bullet truss rods. Yeah. The ones that go in there, rubbish. It's like, you can't be bothered with that. That's what the Fenders have got that. Or some of them do. It's like that whole idea. It's like, oh, you want to just a wee quick tweak of the truss rod. Okay, here's what you do. Undo all the strings, unbolt the neck, tilt the neck. You can sort of do it without taking the neck off, but you have to still have to unbolt it, lean it down, and then kind of give it a wee tweak. Put it back on, tighten it all up, tune it up. Oh, tweak it a little bit more. Take all the strings off, undo all the bolts, take the house down, turn it a wee bit more. So, top truss rod tips. If you're building a guitar, not that anybody Fender that's going to be watching this, but yeah, please can we have bullet truss rods for everything. I know you get like modern Charvels, which I have, what old guitars have. I don't have one sitting about here, but they've got like a wheel that you can get at that sits at the bottom of the fingerboard. Yeah, that's fine. More of an aesthetic choice, really. It doesn't make any difference whether the truss rod's adjustable from the top or the bottom, like in what it does. It's just a metal bar that you are tightening or loosening, so it doesn't really matter whether you, like from that point of view, but definitely bullet truss rods, which this doesn't have. In fact, I don't think my Squire Bullet actually has a bullet truss rod, which seems stupid. I think it goes in from the bottom, like the Fender does. I'd be tempted actually to. I've actually got some Esquire scratch plates. I think I've actually got a black one. Be quite nice to have this just for like a single Telecaster pickup and no neck pickup. But the problem is I can't really do that if I'm looking at selling a guitar, because nobody else wants that. It's just I do. I mean, my Shockingbird's there with its single pickup is just awesome. But most people go, oh, you can't have a guitar, it's only got a single pickup. That's not good. It's quite liberating. Obviously, what you could do is you could just disconnect the switch or hide the switch so it's permanently locked on. I think I had to tighten up the screws that were holding the switch on, and there's just all wee fiddly things, but it's kind of not guitar luthery in any way. It's just common sense. If you're able to use like a screwdriver and stuff like that, and you're kind of, what do you say, practically minded? Is that the word? No. Good with your hands. It's like, that sounds sexual somehow, but you know what I mean. It's like if you can do that, if you can put up a shelf, you can do any of this stuff. I am aware that some people can't put up a shelf. I've had one of my pals remember. I can't remember. I was trying to use a drill, and it was like, just look, this drill was dangerous. Just because I'm so used to, I've always been able to use a drill. I've always been able to wire a plug. You know, these sort of things. Just the way my brain works, I suppose. I remember my pal getting a drill, and it really was. It looked like he was going to kill himself with it. It's like, for me, it's like, yeah, put a screw in, drill, and then he was just like, yeah, just like pure, just like, what are you doing? It's like, just from complete lack of ever having done anything like that before. Or like even just using a hammer, you know, it's like pure. Yeah. Rock on, catch you later.